Upgrade is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to for Apple and tech industry news. I think they have some of the most measured takes and don't fall victim to hyperbole. One interesting thing about Upgrade, though, and many, if not all of the shows on their podcast network, Relay.fm, is that the hosts don't see each other. They keep video off, even for them. And that makes a short form video strategy tough, but not impossible. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Welcome to Podcast Workflows, where you get daily tips to improve your process, grow your show, and maybe even make some money. Each week, I also do a deep dive into the process of the world's most successful podcasters and reveal their tools, processes, and systems to help you simplify the production of your own show and reclaim hours in your day. You can improve your own podcast production process by seeing how the pros do it. I'm your host, Joe Casabona, and today I want to talk to you about why Upgrade's short-form video strategy might be worth trying. Now, before we get to that, I do want to point out, you might notice that the published dates for these episodes are getting increasingly further apart from the actual podcast advent calendar update or day or number. And that's because I don't publish this podcast on weekends, but I'm also excluding mailing list exclusive giveaways from these episodes. They're not really worth doing an episode on. So if you want to get every article and the giveaways on the day they come out, you can sign up over at podcastworkflows.com/advent. Okay, so let's get into their short form video strategy. I ended the cold open by saying that they keep their video off even for them. They don't see each other. As someone who likes keeping video on so I can read my guest's body language, this seems strange to me at first, but their reasoning is sound. Did I do that on purpose? You'll have to determine that for yourself. As an audio-only podcast, they don't want to reference anything that they can see because they feel it will take away from the experience for the listener. And how many times have you experienced that before? The host references something that only they can see, and then they either have to move on and leave it to your imagination or awkwardly try to explain what they're seeing. That's not a skill everybody has. When I interviewed one of the hosts, Mike Hurley, on my show, it was the same deal. I said, feel free to put your video on. He said he prefers not to have it on. He doesn't want to hear the person, or he doesn't want to see the person if they're doing an audio only format. And while I'll save that debate for another time, this does pose a specific problem for them if they want to leverage short form video. They literally have no video to use. So what do? Well, they set up their iPhones to record video separately, then have a video editor edit the videos together with the audio from the podcast. This is an interesting approach to me because it shows they're dedicated to seeing if short form video works. Looking at their numbers on Instagram and TikTok, it's definitely working better than it did for me. Some of their videos on TikTok got into the 5 or 6 figures. So what can you learn here? 1, picking the right moments can make or break your podcast clips that you're sharing. And 2, you don't need to use interview footage to make good short form video. In fact, I have an episode of this show coming up where I'm going to tell you it's probably a bad idea to use interview footage for short form video. Now, I do stand by what I said on day 6. You should use AI clips in the beginning to take more bites of the apple. Okay, that one I did on purpose. But perhaps you can try a combination of 4 AI selected clips and 1 to 2 clips that you either create or select yourself. Given how long the Upgrade guys have been doing this, I think they started in April, and the level of effort these clips take, they definitely see value in continuing to experiment with short form video. And I want to stress here that this is all experiments. I'm going to be throwing out a bunch of different ideas throughout the rest of December for Advent or otherwise, and they may contradict each other, but this is relatively new territory, and we're relying on social media and social network algorithms that could change from time to time. So I'm going to put a bunch of ideas out there. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to try, and I want you to try what's going to work best for you. If you liked this episode, you can get every entry in Podcast Advent 2023 delivered directly to your inbox by going over to podcastworkflows.com/advent. You'll get daily emails with tips and tricks, of course, recommended tools, and giveaways from now to December 24th. You'll also be able to view the archive over there. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, I can't wait to see what you make.